He played a place called Four Corners up in Jarrettsville. Four Corners hosted a lot of other bands that were passing through. I think the Little Feet played there once, and I think
Robert Palmer?
Robert Palmer played there, like Jeff Sharp, who eventually ended up managing Crack the Sky. Jeff Sharp was the promoter. And he, I believe so. Four Corners was the first place where Crack the Sky played locally.
Wow.
And of course, we were in Climb and we were hearing Crack the Sky on WKTK, and we thought they were the biggest motherfucking rock stars in the world. Because they were being played on, and their music sounded amazing. I mean, you know that those old Crack the Sky albums, all the Crack the Sky albums just sounded, the production was great. So we were like sort of, they were our idols at the time. And when we met them a few years later, we were just like, and John and JP, which actually, Dave a couple days ago posted a picture of this piano casing. And first comment under it was John Malone going, "Hey, that's a piano case you built for me back in 1990 or something." Anyway, so thank you, John. This is my grand piano that John Malone was responsible for.
Wow.
And that's how dedicated Dave Brody is for putting good music on. Give him a hand.
Yeah, Dave.
And Cheryl at the door. And Cheryl.
Oh, yeah.
Behind every good man is a good woman going. Anyway, where was I? We were in Climate Hockey, and we soon tired of the country rock thing, and we got into the country blues, and we got into a lot of Little Feet and stuff like that, and then we started getting into my progressive weird stuff, and then it eventually turned into this thing where Fred went for other waters, and we met this guy, Rob Fahey.
Yeah.
We met this guy, Rob Fahey, and Rob Fahey fit in well. So it was actually the guys from Climate Out. It was Lee Townsend, Bobby Hurd, me, John Tracy, and we brought Rob Fahey in. And we decided to change it to a Skinny Tie Band, which was very popular at the time. This was 1979. So we went from this band that was known for country rock and country blues, and Joe Walsh kind of stuff, and all of a sudden we were playing Joe Jackson and stuff like that. And people were out there trying to two-step, and they were like, this is the new Climate Dog. They're called the Ravens now with a Y. And basically how that started out was we really liked all the 60s, British invasion bands.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we were going to find a name like that. Like you take the Beatles and you take the name of a bug and you change one letter. The Beatles, and we had the Birds, change one letter. The Ravens, let's change the E to a Y. And we've regretted that ever since because no one can spell a name right. As my name. Okay, wait, if I can't tell you, I have photos of birthday cakes where it says Happy Birthday KFY. And I'm like, and I would say to the person at the end, I say, how does somebody get a three-letter name wrong? But anyway, so that's how the Ravens name originated. We originated in 1979, playing places like Andre's, Apple's. We actually played the Seagull Inn. The competition was the Shoes, Face Dancer, DC Star, Rolls Royce, and we were up there banging away, doing skinny tie music, which is what we called it. And that skinny tie music got louder and louder. And if you've heard the Ravens, you know that the Ravens were one of the loudest bands in the 80s. But that's how we started. So I'm going to play a little something at the beginning of when we first originated. It was a different lineup. John Tracy Bobby Hurd, Rob Fahey, Lee Townsend, me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met these Crack the Sky guys, and some of those guys had retired briefly, and it turned out that John, that snake, came around and was recruiting us. He actually met us at Apple's one time and said, he listened to our rehearsal and he said, hey, did you guys like to join me and be the new Crack the Sky? So we were the Ravens. And at one time, John said, would you guys, the whole band, like to be my band? And we thought about this, and John, Rob and I had been writing our asses off, and we said, God, we really respect this dude, but no. And we said no. But John Tracy and Bobby Hurd decided to take him up on his offer, so that's how John Tracy and Bobby Hurd were in Crack the Sky for a while with Carrie Ziegler.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it was just like one of those round robins of changing members in Baltimore, where somebody was in everybody else's band.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly in the same room.
In the same room. And I was up at a place called Pecora's in Bel Air, looking for new people to recruit, and I saw this band called Grand Slam from Southern Maryland, and there was this kid, literally kid, 21 years old. His name was David Bell. And he had long hair and a baseball suit on. He was cute and played guitar really well. And he came back to the bar and I said, hey man, you're really good, you know? And thinking like, would you like to help me reform the Ravens? And he was 21 and he went back to Southern Maryland and he went, what the fuck? He said, sorry, man, this guy just asked me, the lead singer just asked me to join the Ravens. And then we were looking for another drummer to replace John Tracy, and we went to see a band called The Stand. Carl Flipiak, I believe, some other people. Tim Steele was the drummer.
Yeah.
And Rob Fahey and I sat in the Delaney Inn in Towson, and we watched this band called The Stand. And Rob said, that's kind of the drummer that we want. So we went up and asked him in the break, we said, hey, do you have some off nights? Would you like to play with the Ravens? And he quit The Stand when he joined the Ravens. And we recorded a bunch of demos at Rob's apartment in Highlandtown, and these two girls named Pinky and Cheryl got backstage at a Tom Petty concert and played it for his road manager, and Raised on the Radio got picked for
Yeah.
Fast Times
Play it.
This is a long story, Dave. You can take a nap if you want.
It was.
You can ask questions if you want. You can ask any questions if I'm leaving stuff out, because it's really hard to remember everything. But I'm trying to give you the history of how this whole thing came about. We were in LA and we recorded that song, and it got on the soundtrack. And I don't know how much you know our material. If you do, if you have the soundtrack from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it's a different version. It's a version that we rushed out to LA, recorded it, rushed home, and then when the movie came out, of course, we were offered a record deal with a completely different label, MCA, and we recorded the whole album. But we went back. We're introduced to Peter Coleman, who was famous for assisting Roy Thomas Baker with albums by Queen and Pat Benatar and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up to the producer and the record company president to choose the songs, because Rob and I had like 40 songs, 50 songs. And if you saw us in the clubs in those days, you know that Rob sang half of them, and then I came on front and sang mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they sat down to this producer who had never heard us before, and he listened to all these songs, and he picked all of Rob's but one of mine.
Oh.
And I went around to the guys and I was like, but we were like little kids, you know, we were in our late 20s. Well, I guess not little kids, but we thought, musicians. We were kids. And you know, we were like, but we can't like tell them no, because this is a major label deal. So I actually wrote a couple songs in the studio because I wanted more songs on the record. So basically the only song of mine that he chose, I think, was Physical Attraction. And one of the songs that I wrote in the studio was like this. It sounded something like this.
Just around.